Hi, my name's Joe Laydon. I'm the town planner in Grafton. We have a number of zoning articles that are going to be considered by town meeting, and I'm going to give an overview as far as what those articles are, how they came about, and also give you the planning board's recommendation for them. First, I'm going to start with Article 30. Article 30 proposes amendments to the Village Mixed-Use Zoning District that currently is located in South Grafton. This zoning bylaw amendment came about through a 2-year study and zoning workshop that the planning board had undertaken starting in 2017 and commencing with the Worcester Street Village study. And then also with funding from the state, we retained a consultant to redo the zoning for the Worcester Street area. We identified through that process that the best foundation for coming up with the zoning bylaw was our existing village mixed-use district, which was already approved in 2012 and is primarily used in South Grafton. So what we did is we made a series of changes to that bylaw that identified additional development types, identified specific design criteria, also expanded the housing opportunities and options that the bylaw presented, and includes a number of illustrative examples for design guidelines, densities, and housing types. Those recommendations that were incorporated into the existing village mixed use is what is within Article 30. The planning board at their public hearing on March 25th presented the draft article and received no public comment. The board did vote unanimously to support that article. Next is Article 31. And what this does is it relies off of Article 30. And within Article 30, we had made amendments to the village mixed use district, specifically within the existing language, and then also having the existing district as South Grafton. Article 31 basically takes that bylaw and applies it to the area around 215 Worcester Street, that area which is also known as Bolac Plaza. There are about 5 properties that the district is going to rezone. These properties are existing community business district, as well as some parcels that are in the Residence 20 district, all around the 215 Worcester Street area. And this article merely just rezones that area part of the village mixed use and creates another column and amends the use table for uses that would then be allowed by right, by special permit, or prohibited within that village area that is known as the Worcester Street Neighborhood Center. Again, this is implementing recommendations that came out of the 2017 Worcester Street Strategic Plan and that planning effort. Next article is Article 32. Article 32, which is entitled Village Mixed Use Transit Village Neighborhood Center. This utilizes the existing bylaw from Village Mixed Use as then amended to include the Worcester Street Neighborhood Center. This applies to the area on Route 30, Westboro Road, at the intersection of Institute Road and Route 30. This area is zoned commercial community business. And back to the same time frame, 2017, the planning board had engaged a consultant with funding through the state to prepare the North Grafton Transit Village strategic plan. That plan identified a series of recommendations, one of which was the redevelopment of the Grafton State Hospital, which town meeting approved the 40R district for the Transit Village Smart Growth District. Another recommendation was to create a village mixed-use district along some of those frontage areas on Route 30 close to the train station. This village zoning effort that the planning board undertook over the last year is being proposed to apply to that area at the intersection of Route 30 and Institute Road. And Article 32 adds that area. It's 3 properties. 2 are owned by the state, 1's owned by a private developer, so that it can be developed as a mixed-use district that allows opportunities for additional housing, mixed-use restaurants, retail, additional commercial space. and the proximity to the existing Grafton commuter rail station, and growth opportunities that the town has identified with Grafton Science Park, Centec Park, UPS, as well as the redevelopment of the Grafton State Hospital, all are part of this North Grafton Transit Village that the Planning Board is trying to implement. The Planning Board did vote to recommend supporting this article unanimously. The next article that the town meeting will consider is Article 33. Article 33 proposes to allow, by way of a special permit that would be issued by the Planning Board, marijuana retail establishments within the community business district. Back January 2018, the board had submitted for February 2018's special town meeting a series of articles dealing with marijuana establishments. We also identified a series of districts where marijuana retail establishments could be located. Town meeting approved by 2/3, placing these uses within the office light industrial district. When it came to the community business, while it did receive a majority, over 50%, it did not receive the 2/3 that were necessary for zoning. Other two districts, village mixed use as well as neighborhood business, those did not achieve a majority. So the planning board, in responding to comments from prospective businesses coming into town who said that there was a lack of retail locations that were available for them to lease, the planning board decided to bring this back to town meeting for consideration. The planning board did vote unanimously to recommend acceptance of Article 33. The next article, which is Article 34, proposes to add an affordability requirement within the multifamily dwelling zoning district. This district, which is primarily located along portions of Providence Road as well as up near Church Street towards the center of town, allows, through the issuance of a special permit, multifamily housing. Density within this area is 8 units per acre per the bylaw. The town, in trying to promote affordable housing, looked at this provision, and the planning board identified that without an affordable housing provision within the multifamily district, that we would just further fall behind in achieving our affordable housing goal of 10%. So within this article, we are proposing that 20% of ownership units and 25% of rental units need to be affordable. Those developments, if they're over 8 units per acre, would need to have an affordable component. The town, in trying to make sure that we take strides to provide our affordable housing, this is one of those elements that the planning board identified as trying to close a loophole where there is no affordability component. The board did vote unanimously to recommend acceptance of this article. The next zoning article in the warrant is Article 37. This is a petitioner's article, and the proponent proposes the inclusion of marijuana cultivators and manufacturers as a special permit permitted use within the village mixed-use district in South Grafton. The proponent had argued with the planning board that such a use would be able to revitalize some existing mill in South Grafton, specifically the Farnhamsville mill, and bring it back to a economically viable use because the improvements that are needed to the mill are rather significant. The planning board, in evaluating the proposal, identified that there was potential for other cultivation and manufacturing uses within the district, and that it should be viewed as not only for this one site, but also as potential business use within the village mixed use in South Grafton. The planning board did vote unanimously to recommend acceptance of this article. One of the things that the planning board did identify is that in their support is that there's not going to be any public that would be visiting the business. This would be basically just growing and then selling directly to other retail or manufacturers, or producing products to then go to another location to sell. There would not be any way of residents or people from outside of town coming to the site in order to make purchases. And the board did want to make sure that there was a distinction between growing and manufacturing, and then the retail, which is not included and not proposed as part of this particular article. Lastly, the last article that the planning board provided comment on is within the special town meeting, Article 17. This bylaw amendment proposes to include parcels that are around the Wyman-Gordon site at Worcester Street. The article was originally written to include 3 parcels. During the public hearing, the planning board, in receiving staff comment and evaluating the proposal, recommended that that just the main Wyman-Gordon site at 244 Worcester Street be included in the 43D Priority Development Overlay District. What Chapter 43D, that's Mass General Law, allows is what's called expedited permitting. What that does is it represents a commitment from the town that it can issue permits within 180 days, 6 months. Now, this doesn't shortchange any sort of review process. If anything, it structures it rather strongly with review by staff and representative of permitting boards to determine that an application is complete, that all the required information is actually submitted as part of a complete application. That's before the clock even starts. So there's a lot of work that the applicants, the board, and staff need to do before that clock starts. And because it does represent a significant investment and expense by an applicant to prepare traffic studies, stormwater, all sorts of municipal impact reporting that's necessary for these applications. By having those up front, it represents a significant investment and allows the town to more quickly and also more importantly, more thoroughly review a proposed application. Because of the potential for redevelopment at the Wyman-Gordon site, recent proposals as far as carving off the front of that property, by including in 43D, it doesn't change any of the allowed uses. That's still governed by the zoning bylaw. It only sets up this expedited permitting process, and the planning board, in holding its public hearing on the proposed article, recommended unanimously to recommend acceptance of that article. As with all these articles, if any residents or property owners have any questions, feel free to contact the planning department. We can be reached by email at planningdept@grafton-ma.gov. You can always come in to the counter and talk to staff, or our phone number is 508-839-5335, extension 1120. Also visit the planning board's website. We have all these articles. We have the planning board report for more information. Thank you very much.